On today's episode of Survival Dispatch News, we'll be discussing human trafficking.
Hey, today's video is sponsored by CARBINOX. Full disclosure now, CARBINOX did not pay us to feature their product here today, but they did send us this really cool tactical backpack for evaluation. This is an extremely rugged backpack. It's got a 77-liter capacity. It could be configured for a carry handle or shoulder carry with shoulder straps in this compartment. Has 12 different compartments, by the way, designed to hold clothes, electronics, shoes, first aid kits, outdoor gear, the kitchen sink, just about anything else you can think of. One of the most innovative features is the USB charging system that's built. See if I can get this latch open. There's a USB charging system built in to the bag here. It's even got an insulated cooler compartment. It has MOLLE attachments on the outside, on the inside. We think this is one of the most rugged, versatile bags on the market. Make sure you check out all the details on the CARBINOX Tactical Backpack in the link, and thanks for watching.
And we're back. Today's episode of Survival Dispatch News is going to be a little bit shorter, but it's a very important topic. January is National Human Trafficking Awareness Month. We'll be providing a bunch of links down below for various resources related to this topic. We'll start off by stating that when we started researching current news on this topic, we just punched in human trafficking and went to the news results on Google, and there were over 45 million results. So, I mean, this is a huge problem that's plaguing our society, but there are some things that we can do. So, like I said, we're going to provide links, human trafficking hotline.org, hopeforjustice.org. They have multiple different ways that people can give them tips and whatnot. And just going through my notes here. So the federal government received over 50,000 tips in 2022 that either led to charges or rescued victims. So it's a huge number just based on that alone. Here in Florida, there were 1,253 victims saved as a result of those tips that have been called in. So again, this entire month is Human Trafficking Awareness Month, and much like anything else, you know, we frequently discuss being aware, situational awareness, etc., especially relevant to this human trafficking problem. So one of the top tips that experts give in this particular topic is pay attention to what your children are doing online and on social media. A lot of them are lured into situations where, you know, they're promised something, whether it be money or, you know, a date with somebody that they're really attracted to. And next thing you know, they've been kidnapped and forced into some form of slave labor. Another thing that you can do is pay attention to younger people while you're in public. If you see somebody who looks distraught, don't be afraid, you know, to either report that to somebody or to ask the person themselves if everything is okay. Another thing that we can do is that we can either make a donation or volunteer to help some of these organizations who specialize in human trafficking. You know, there's been some pretty high profile people incarcerated in recent years related to human trafficking. Obviously, everybody's aware of Jeffrey Epstein. Another recent one is Andrew Tate has been jailed in Romania. I believe there's 6 charges against him for human trafficking and rape. Something a little closer to home, Polk County, Florida has the best sheriff in the state, if not the country, bar none, pardon me. His name's Grady Judd. Judd, by the way. If you haven't heard of him, look him up. This guy is a pistol, but he is an anti-crime machine. He's got a flair for showmanship as well. His team busted a human trafficking circle in Polk County. There were 4 individuals charged, but they were bringing in migrant workers from Mexico and essentially selling them into slave labor in multiple different states. And there were thousands of people that were affected by that. So it's one of those topics that we don't feel has got enough attention Also aware of some anecdotal examples. There was a situation with one of our business partners. The Amtrak police came to them. Never heard of them before. Apparently, they're a federal law enforcement agency, has somewhere around 40 agents. They asked that particular business if they could use their property to surveil somebody who had an office in the same complex. And they've been chasing this particular individual for 6 months. Inside of 48 hours of gathering the information that they needed, they discovered that this particular individual was not only engaged in human trafficking, but he was selling girls, into prostitution. And there was a motel behind the strip plaza, and that's where he was conducting his transactions with Johns and whatnot. But anyway, long story short, over the course of 6-month investigation, there were over 200 individuals in that particular case that they were able to identify as victims of human trafficking. So today's episode, as I mentioned, is going to be short. Doesn't mean it's not important. It's actually quite important. We're going to provide a bunch of links down below so that you can potentially help solve this problem that's plaguing our society. And thanks again for tuning in to Survival Dispatch News. We'll see you all soon.